Historically, my most profitable day of the week is Wednesday. That's why it's spelled with an I, Wednesday. Let's go ahead and dive in and talk about what happened today and what I'm looking at tomorrow. Hey traders from around the world, yep, that's right, it's your Wednesday stock review. So let's go and look at some stocks that were requested. But before we do that, here is the SPY. And what we're going to look at is big picture, overall trend obviously is bullish. All moving averages are pointing to up. So what we're looking at right now is just kind of waiting for some dip buying opportunities. Let some pullbacks come in, buy those dips. Trend looks good on the weekly. Now, if we go to the daily chart, really kind of the same thing. I mean, in essence, you've had some really small range days lately, and we're going to keep a close eye on what happens tomorrow, obviously every single day. But in general, I'm perfectly comfortable and happy for a pullback back into this 328 level and then a bounce on the SPY. Just looking for a slow trend to continue higher. Of course, a lot of it's going to come down to stimulus and elections and whatnot, but big picture, yes. Definitely could be a little bit of a double top. We could absolutely get some selling. Before that occurs, I would need it to trade down here, close below, retest, and then go lower. But even if that occurs, I'll still look to play this bounce just in case this pattern doesn't work out. And if I make a little bit of money, great. And if I lose a little bit, I can buy a lot more on this pullback because this dip would be absolutely viable and, of course, happen late November and we could take advantage of the Santa rally. That's, again, what I think is almost in this situation worst case scenario, and we will see. All right, so some stocks I had requested for today. Let's go check out Aurora Cannabis, ticker symbol ACB, or good old Aurora Cannabis. One of those stocks that is just on a slip and slide to zero. I mean, look at this thing. It's obviously had some reverse splits. Like this looks like a fun water slide at a park, realistically. So yeah, if you do trade something like this, it has to be fast. You got to be in and out really quickly. And I would agree, it does look like there are some opportunities to do that. You had a very nice bullish engulfing candle yesterday, followed by a super small bear candle, and then a little bit of a bull pop today. So yeah, realistically, I mean, a small retest to about 458 and then a pop back up to 560 is reasonable. Your stops can go here at 384. You're trying to pick a bottom and, catch a falling knife can be challenging, and this would absolutely be the example of a falling knife. So Aurora Cannabis, we'll find out. Buy the dip, be quick about it. Long term looks like absolute dog crap. Next on the list is RUN, Sunrun. And Sunrun getting a little bit of a pullback. Strong bullish candle. Close below that candle today. And if I turn on some of the moving averages, yep, we're finally getting a pullback on some of these solar names, which I think was needed. So here's the weekly chart. And yeah, huge parabolic move. I mean, this thing was just absolutely bananas. Back in March, all the way up, that's 800%. Thankfully, I don't know anyone who bought at 80, but if you did, why? Sorry. But anyway, it is pulling back, needed to pull back, is pulling back. So if I come over here to the daily chart and look at the daily chart, again, just a nice overall correction. Don't buy up here, let the correction come in, and if you're buying, probably down at 45, which at that point would be a 45% move. So yeah, let it pull back, buy the dip, buy low, sell high if you're playing RUN, or the next day or two, look to short it if it can retest this moving average right here. Short it up there and then expect it to kind of just retest and then go a little bit lower. That's also a possibility. JKS was also requested. I mean, JKS, again, talk about noob city alert. So JKS was just absolutely parabolic, just ridiculous. Traded up a lot and had a blow off top. So you had huge volume yesterday, gapped up, made an all-time high today, and then just sank all day long. And we were watching this one on a early time frame. The traders who were playing it this morning, AJ and a few of the traders, really aggressively bought the dip, sold when it made that new all-time high around 90. I mean, it made a 90.20 was the high of the day, and then we just started breaking down. Once it took out this candle right here, look at that volume right there on the 5 minute. Taking out that candle, yeah, you had to expect it to go lower. It did sell off nicely. It did pull back nicely, and JKS, good pullback, needed to happen. I'm not saying it is exactly by any stretch of the imagination the same as Square by any means, but Patterns are somewhat similar to, let me turn off this. Patterns are somewhat similar to this candle right here. So we got to go back a little bit farther. Right there. Candle is the same on November 2017 when Square was on a nice little uptrend. It had a little bit of a parabolic move and then just kind of, it kind of died. You had the big volume, the massive amount of selling. So I do think that JKS will do something similar to this. I mean, take a screenshot, most likely what you'll get on JKS, rotate down and then slowly grind a little bit higher. Do think that, Square and JKS are two totally different companies fundamentally, but that being said, the trend is the trend. So same thing with Square, since we're looking at it, nice bear candle today. Overall, pretty cute move. Let's go here to the session candle really quick. So we did get a nice little breakdown this morning. We did trade down to the 20 EMA. If you're looking at buying Square, buy off the blue line. Very, very small size since literally all-time highs were just days ago. Otherwise, I really like Square more at 157. I do have some traders selling puts at 140, which I can absolutely respect. I mean, getting put shares at 140 on Square would be delicious, but that's really, that's my thoughts on Square. In essence, let it pull back some. Two other stocks I had requested was on AMD, and as much as I do love AMD, and there are a lot of traders selling puts on it right now, which I can absolutely understand, the put sales that we are selling and the location that we're looking to buy AMD is around this $70 area. So if you're looking at buying AMD, or you want to do a put sale, or you want to buy it long term, or you want to buy some calls, let it pull back down into that 70-ish price range. It could be 70, it could be 72, somewhere in here. This is the spot that you want to you want to look to buy your AMD position. That's really it. Buy low, sell high. Trend is bullish. Company's bullish. Earnings are around the corner, but don't get in too heavy on AMD until it pulls back a little bit lower. Z-links, XLX, again, possible news that it might get bought out by AMD, which would be huge for AMD because this will be a massive takeover. Strong trend, really nice gap, good profit taking gap. Look at this daily chart, bunch of white candles, shaved top white candle gapping up. I mean, just what a great profit taking gap that is. And then Z-links pulling back and retesting that gap. So all things look pretty good over there. Now, I could make this stock review easily an hour long. So without trying to do that, here's your Tesla analysis. And Tesla, again, I did mention it might gap down small in earnings. I really didn't want it to. And right now we are gapping up a little bit post-market. I definitely did say this is going to be more of a volatility sale event on Tesla for sure over earnings, which means sell premium rather than buy it. I love the fact that we're not gapping down big. I mean, that's definitely a thumbs up because I do have some Tesla positions for sure. So I like it. Earnings were quite good, and we'll see what happens. As long as it doesn't dive bomb, which it could between now and actual market open, of course. It could go really easily green, which we're green right now, but could easily go green to red as it runs up and does something like that. That would kind of suck, but eventually I think it would get bought up. But in general, good earnings, good numbers. I do like a little bit of a gap up. That does show a little bit of strength, more strength than I think a lot of people expected. We'll see how it opens, but in general, if it can hold, the longer it can hold, the longer it can trade sideways, the more I will be in Tesla long. So good numbers, all that's good to go. Excited to see how it actually opens and what it does on open. Give it 2 or 3 days and then just find out where we go from there. PayPal had an absolutely delicious day today. I am in PayPal position. We did make a new all-time high on PayPal, 215.83. So I'm in this bull call spread. Good volume, phenomenal gap. Be long on PayPal, buy dips, own shares, own calls. Great name to be in long term. Activision, pretty decent gap on Activision today. Tracy Ball had a put sale for January. She bought this one back, and I do have some $100 January 2022 calls that I'm in on Activision. Earnings around the corner. Compression is here. You had pretty decent earnings last time. At least I think they were decent. And since then, we've just been consolidating. So consolidation station on Activision. That's a good thing if you are bullish long-term on Activision, which I am. Like this consolidation, and a good gap on this could be brilliant. Speaking of brilliant gap, Pinterest, woo, doggy. Yeah, buddy, Pinterest. Nice gap and go today. Had a good run up this morning. I did hit a target for some of my leaps on Pinterest and an account. So I have Pinterest in all kinds of accounts. I mean, I literally talked about this one Monday right here and mentioned how strong it was. Anyway, I'm in all kinds of positions on Pinterest. I was blown away by this random gap. Quite happy that it occurred. Hit a target. If you're in Pinterest, stay in it. It looks amazing. I don't really see any reason not to be in Pinterest right now. And Pinterest got moved bullish because of Snapchat, S-N-A-P. Huge retest gap with massive volume. Ready for this? I don't think this gap ever fills, ladies and gentlemen. Ever. I don't. So one of two things happens on Snapchat. Most likely we get some selling and chop around and then we go higher. That's number one. Number two is we do one of these guys, trade sideways for a while and then go higher. That makes a lot of sense. And then, I think theoretically we could do one of these and almost fill the gap and then go higher. That would be the three possibilities on Snapchat. All roads lead to higher eventually though. Good earnings, phenomenal gap, and amazing breakout on all time frames. Be long Snapchat. I stopped being my perma bear Snapchat back in April of 2019, and I didn't make any money on the gap up over earnings, but I did carve out a day trade, and I'll show you that in just a second. But yeah, Snapchat, nice overall move, good gap. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. And if you want to review some analysis, just go back and look at a bunch of gaps that did this and see what they end up doing. And Zoom would be one right here. Strong retest gap on good earnings. Obviously, Zoom is pulling back right now, and I think that's relatively a good thing. But this is what Snapchat could do, something like this, or it could do what Pinterest did on this earnings this gap that I also said would never fill ever, which it hasn't. It could also do something like that. All kinds of things out there going on, folks. All kinds of gap. Please. If there was a time that you want to join real life trading, do it now. Just for earnings season, just for the next month. Let me enrich your life. Let me give you 12 years of experience and help you navigate these moves in the market, because I think we played Snapchat very, very well on a day trade today. A lot of traders played it long, but this is where we shorted Snapchat. I know I never sell the exact high, and it kind of annoys me, but I got within 20 cents of the exact high today on SNAP. So we sold it at 38.62 with a stop at 39.62. And then when it created this little double top right here, right there, I added to the position and ended up getting out at 37.62. Could have and should have lowered my target a little bit when I missed my target by a few pennies right here. So that was my target, but I was in the middle of a coaching session, and all is good. No big deal, no worries there. Snapchat, nice little fade, and really, really good trade by all who got a chance to participate in the Snapchat fade on the downside. It was up almost 40%, so it was a little high, and I think that the risk reward was nice. Plus, if you look at a 15-minute chart, this is how I picked that particular price. This is what it looked like when I shorted it right here. I needed an abacus to count it, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 white candles in a row. And when it broke above the high of that, I was like, yep, I think that's going to be about it. That's where all the noobs are going to get in. All the people that go, oh, finally it's confirming bullish. It's breaking out of the resistance. Let me get in. All the noobs buying there. That was me 11 years ago, buying all the call options. And that's where I sold short today. So it was right at that high, 38.62, and we smashed it. Good trade on Snapchat, folks. Anyway, all right, team, that is it for my analysis right now. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for being here. You absolutely rock. I got 8 minutes to go until I hop into the afternoon swing trading room, which is Energy Wednesday. Thank you all for being a part of Real Life Trading. And until next time, love life, live life, and trade it. Bye.